Welcome into match 1 of Blue Black Delver and Pauper. We are on the play, which is good for our deck. I think we're going to keep this hand. Having the turn 1 Delver is always really nice, but it's not quite as necessary as in other Delver decks. We can't play Gurmag Angler super early regardless, so I think we're going to start with the island and go for an early Thought Scour. And then next turn we can Brainstorm and Terramorphic Expanse cards away if we don't see a threat. Opponent has a basic island that usually means Delver of some kind. Gitaxian Probe. There is also a Kiln Fiend deck where they play Kiln Fiend at a bunch of spells and kill us on one turn. And Gitaxian Probe is usually a pretty good indication of that. They have Kiln Fiend and Nivik Cyclops. We have a Ghastly Demise, which removes all of their threats, and they don't play a lot, so having one early that's cheap is good. Flayer Husk. Okay, so I have no idea what our opponent is on. I guess it could be like a blue-white artifact aggro-ish deck, but I am not sure. Unfortunately, being in blue-black, we don't have a lot of answers for artifacts, and Affinity is a pretty good deck in Pauper. A lot of those cards are common and do some really strong stuff. Luckily, Cranial Plating is banned, but still has some hands that are just insane. A Tog is a very powerful card. So we milled the Delver of Secrets and drew a land. That's not ideal. Not ideal at all. But we drew another Delver of Secrets, so we want to get a threat out as early as possible. We're going to keep the Terramorphic Expanse around so that we can shuffle with the Brainstorm cards. So I'm going to play Dismal Backwater and gain a life and fix our mana. We'll be able to cast most spells. One limitation on the deck is we really want to have a lot of blue mana and not as much black mana. Sometimes it's hard to cast 2 removal spells in one turn, but I'm not super worried about that right now. So another basic island. So I'm not sure. Flayer Husk might just be an answer for them against Edict effects. Like we have Stormbound Geist. They could be playing Flayer Husk so that if opponent tries to make them sacrifice a creature, they have the Germ token as a buffer. But I have not seen this deck before. Our opponent is in the tank. They're going to get in for 1. We are not going to block. Luckily, blue does not really have removal. Snap. The sorcery speed snap. That's interesting. But he doesn't cast anything. So he might be setting up to counterspell this Delver. I think that's okay with us. He doesn't have a lot of removal, like I was saying, and if he is playing mono blue. Mana Leak. Okay. Mana Leak is generally a fairly weak card in this format because the games go a lot longer, but in a tempo deck, it's fine. I think we're going to Brainstorm and have Terramorphic Expanse ready to shuffle away the 2 lands. I think we're going to put 2 lands on top and shuffle them away. We really don't want a lot of lands. We would really like to see a threat soon. We have 2 Delvers left, all of our Delve creatures, and the Stormbound Geist. There's a Delver of Secrets. We'll probably Ghastly Demise that. Not this turn, obviously, but as soon as we can. Sacrifice the Expanse. Get an island. We want to have 2 islands so that we can cast Gush. And we don't normally need more than 1 black source. So there is a threat. I don't want this to get counterspelled, but I don't know how much of a choice we have. And this is better to get counterspelled than most of our deck. So I'm just going to go for it. I don't mind just delving for the full 5 cards out of the graveyard. We have 3 cards to add to them. So we didn't have a counterspell. which is interesting. We'll just do this at instant speed. Opponent flips Delver off a Preordain. Okay. There's the Preordain. Opponent is down to 3 cards. And he didn't have Counterspell last turn. So unless he gets one off a Preordain, he's not going to have one. I'm going off the assumption that he would have countered Sultai Scavenger. I 100% believe that if he had a Counterspell, he would have used it. I guess it's possible he's playing Miscalculation, which is mana leak, but you only have to tap 2 mana, but I doubt it. Hopefully our opponent just bottoms these. He's thinking about it, so they're not the best cards. Not the ones he was totally hoping for, it seems like. He goes top. He put top, okay. If he attacks with Delver, I don't think we're going to block. And by I don't think, I mean we're not going to. It's possible he's playing Ninja the Deep Hours, but that's okay. Okay, so we're going, this is tricky. I think I'm just going to cast Mental Note and Thought Scour. Vapor Snags Scavenger. Okay. Put 2 lands in the graveyard. A Delver and a Stormbound. Not ideal, but okay. I think we're just going to cast we'll wait until their turn to cast Ghastly Demise. I'm going to do it on their upkeep before they draw. And we have Counterspell backup. So they have 3 cards in hand. They're going to attack for 1. Spire Golem. That's pretty big. Try to counterspell that. Opponent concedes. Okay. Seemed a little bit of an aggressive concession, but sure. Looks like he's playing just a mono blue deck. Mono blue tempo. Spire Golem's a really powerful card. Has affinity for islands, so it's really cheap. We can block it with Sultai Scavenger. They bounce off each other. Sultai Scavenger bounces off, and then he can't block Grimag Angler. So our threats are definitely bigger than his, and as long as you don't let him get too ahead on tempo, we'll be fine. I think Dispel is a good thing to bring in against the mono blue deck. We're going to be counterspelling a lot of things back and forth. All of our removal is really good. They're not playing black creatures. I think Stormbound Geist is a little slow, and we don't need it to protect us from Edict effects. So we'll do it like that. Now our deck's curve is even lower. Especially being on the draw, that'll be nice to make sure we stay in it. We could bring in Chainer's Edict for a little bit more removal, but I think we're okay. I think if we get an early Grimag Angler, they're not going to have much of a chance. Although Vapor Snag can be frustrating to play against with Delve cards. Our deck is super good at filling the graveyard, so I'm not super worried about it. As long as, if they have a hand of like Delver of Secrets turn 1, and they're able to play Spire Golems early, like turn 4, they play 2 mana Spire Golem something, That'd be hard to deal with for sure. But I definitely think we have a better deck than they do right now in this matchup. We're going to keep this hand. It's got something to do turn 1 and a counter spell. Fairy Miscreant. This is a decently strong card. It's played in most of the other Delver versions. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but if you play a bunch of them and they draw a card each time, it's pretty good. We have a Gurmag Angler. That's a really good threat. If we can play that before they get too far ahead and they have to spend time bouncing it, we can just recast it again. That'll be really strong. But we're going to need things like Mental Note. Would not like to shuffle. We'll keep the Mental Note. Next turn we can hold up Counterspell Magic, and if they don't cast anything we want to counter, we can Mental Note ourselves, which would be especially strong since we'd be getting an island off the top. Hopefully he doesn't ninja the Deep Hours. That'd be really good right now for him. Looks like he does. This can be a very frustrating card to play against. He's going to get a lot of cards off of this. We don't have a way to deal with that early right now. We have Vapor Snag. I think Vapor Snagging that will be the right call, but we'll wait until their turn. I wish I had Vapor Snag that now. Spell Stutter Sprite. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, I should have just Vapor Snagged on our turn. It's always tempting to just do it at instant speed, but he was tapped out. This does give us an opening to cast Gurmag Angler. Unfortunately, we can't hold up Counterspell, which isn't the worst because we also have Delver to cast. So our opponent needs a Snap or a Vapor Snag to deal with our Angler. Bone Splitter. Yep. Equip up to the Spell Stutter Sprite. There's the Fairy Miscreant. So he doesn't have counter magic. Unfortunately, we don't win this race right now. So I'm not going to be able to attack with the Gurmag Angler. Bone Splitter is a very strong piece of equipment in this format. If Delver flips, we'll attack with it. So we flip a Daze. And we'll get in for 3 with Delver. We'll have Counterspell up. We'll probably end up gushing on their end step. We have removal spells for these. Unfortunately, Bone Splitter makes all their flying creatures really big. Might want to bring back in the Stormbound Geist to be in the air, but I think we just want to be aggressive. Their deck actually doesn't play that many instants, so Dispel isn't as good as against something like the blue-black control deck, or one where they're trying to remove everything at instant speed and counter lots of spells. There's a Mystical Teachings based deck. And on the play, it might be better to have a little bigger threat than on the draw. Yep, attack for 4. We'll float to blue and cast Gush. Didn't draw something like a Mental Note or Brainstorm or really anything we could cast right now, which is unfortunate. A lot of counter magic. A lot of counter magic, which is not what we wanted in this specific situation. I'm still going to get in with Delver. Our opponent might just be holding the counter magic for removal spells. Attacks with everything. Okay, that makes more sense. Yep, take 4. Delver of Secrets. We have so much counter magic, I think we need to use it, some of it. There's a Dispel. Okay. If I play the turn where expands and crack it, I can get the Sultai Scavenger onto the board. We're gonna have to be in block mode now. I think. Yeah, this is tough. This is how the blue Delver deck wins. We just didn't draw the right spells. We have Double Daze backup, which we can use. Hopefully they don't have Daze themselves, which is very possible for them. Okay, so our Scavenger is going to resolve. Can't really attack right now. Hopefully the Delver doesn't flip. Hopefully the Delver doesn't flip for a number of reasons. First, we don't really want to have another 3/2 flyer. Second, a spell. Almost all the spells he could draw are good. Gush. Okay, that's very good. Preordain first. The Mono Blue Delver deck used to be a lot more popular. Cloud of Fairies was legal, so they'd just be able to play a 3/1/1 basically, and then hold up Spell Stutter Sprite the next turn and Into the Deep Hours and all that stuff. But that card got banned, so now the deck is pretty strong. Right now people have been favoring the blue-red version that plays Scred and Lightning Bolt. But I've definitely played a lot of Mono Blue Delver and it was a really fun deck. Taxium Pro, look at all our counter magic that we can't use right now. If he didn't have Bone Splitter, we'd be okay. They only play 1, so it's unfortunate that they drew it. Another Fairy Miscreant. This one gets to draw him a card. We really wanted to get a Gurmag Angler out a little earlier and just start bashing in for 5. So we have to block this. This definitely does not look good. Yeah. It's probably the final nail. A second Gush, dang. Probably going to concede. I'll draw a card to see what it is, but I don't think we're getting out of this one. Another island. No, we are dead on board. So we will concede. Okay, so I don't think we want the dispels on the play. Be a little more proactive. Shrivel seems like it could be good. Chainer's Edict. I think on the play we'll cut a Deprive, play an Edict, go like that. Really try to hope, really hoping for the turn 1 Delver. That can just be the game sometimes. And then if we can back it up with a Gurmag Angler early. We would like to play first. Well, I think we're keeping this hand, but no threat right now. We will cast Brainstorm. Hopefully they don't have a Delver. Okay, that's not so bad. They have a bunch of those though, it can be hard to deal with. Okay, so right now I just don't know if we're gonna have time to cast Counterspell for a while, if at all. And I want to be very proactive right now, so I'm gonna put the Counterspells back. Stop in the upkeep and cast Mental Note. We milled 2 counterspells and drew another counterspell. Awesome. Alright, I think Ponder is a good play. Another Gurmag Angler. None of those are a black source, which is what we really need right now. So we're going to have to shuffle. Little consistency issues with the 2-color deck. We only need 1 black source. See, if we draw a swamp next turn, then we can cast Gurmag Angler. We only have 1, so it's unlikely. He has the turn to Ninja again, which will probably end up Vapor Snagging on our turn this time. Okay, so we have our black source, turn later, but we will play that and snag this now. And next turn, on their end step, we'll cast Mental Note. We'll be able to hold up Counterspell backup when we cast Gurmag Angler. And since they cast Ponder, if they want to play their Fairy Miscreant, they can't hold up Counterspell. So hopefully we'll be able to deal with whatever they have. If he has Vapor Snag, I think we try to counter the Vapor Snag and really just get this Gurmag Angler to stick. We also have Disfigure to remove something soon. If he, okay. Delver and the Miscreant, yep. So he's hopefully we can just get the Gurmag Angler down and keep it around long enough to just get in damage and win off that. Because it seems like he has more threats than us right now. Hopefully Delver doesn't flip. It's not the biggest deal if it does. We have the removal spell for it next turn. Flips it off a Preordain. Okay. He'll probably Ninja the Fairy Miscreant again. Yeah, these are the types of draws we really didn't want to see. Turn 2 ninjutsu is really strong, which is pretty much the best part about Fairy Miscreant. 1 mana flyer, you're almost always guaranteed this turn 2 if you have it in your hand. We're gonna mill ourselves a bunch. Hopefully we can draw some more threats. It's hard with only 1 black. If we draw another Gurmag Angler, we could play it and have a blocker for the ninja. Ooh, Stormmound Geist is really good. I think we just want to play that. I'm tempted to just disfigure the Insectile Aberration. Just to slow the game down a little bit. Because if he has a bounce spell for our creatures, we're going to be in trouble. Well, let's cast Brainstorm first. We definitely want to keep Daze. If we put Thought Scour, Counterspell on top, we can play Delver. We know we're going to flip Delver next turn. We can disfigure the Insectile Aberration, and we'll leave the Gurmag Angler back to block. No. I think we just need to start getting in, get some damage going. Him drawing a card off of the ninja is going to be frustrating. It's going to be annoying, but we're really trying to kill them fast. He's going to draw a card, the Fairy Miscreant. We really want another Gurmag Angler. So we're going to flip Counterspell to flip Delver. We can Thought Scour ourselves. Okay, take 3. Another ninja of the Deep Hours. Dang. Well, that's powerful. Sorcery Speed Snap. Oh, we could have dazed it. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. I don't think it really matters. Oh shit. We were gonna lose that game anyway. He was way ahead of us. Definitely should have dazed the snap for sure. But we can't counter the Ninja Deep Hours stuff. He's had tons of threats. He was drawing a bunch of cards. Dang, we really needed to get Gurmag faster than that. The mono blue Delver deck it has some pretty powerful stuff. It drew the way it wanted to draw, and we tripped up on mana, which is something that Pauper really punishes, since we're playing such bad mana fixing, and just especially for a tempo deck. But yeah, that was a frustrating one, but we'll come back round 2 and win that one. So I'll see you guys there.